Okay, welcome to another episode of LogiCast. My name is BlankaKong. I'm joined by Gunner Eos today. It's just a two-man show. Happy New Year. Hope your holidays were pleasant and filled with joy and good vibes, as the kids say.
Happy New Year, indeed.
Yes, so Happy New Year. So this is our first podcast of the year. We did miss a week because of some technical difficulties, so apologies for that. But we are back with your regular programming, and today's episode is going to be really about 2023, what we want to see within our respective hobby spaces, whether that be gaming, comic books, movies, collecting, figure building, whatever it is, and we're just going to chat about what we want 2023 to be, what we hope to do, what we will do, and as individuals. And I guess I'll start. So, 2022, I remember I said that I wanted to stream more, which ended up not coming to pass because I wanted to finish games. And I ended up not streaming regularly, really because I went back to work and, I work at a game store. And so I'm just around it a lot. And I've been spending more time collecting, like building up my library, than actually playing stuff. So in 2023, I hope that I would like to get back to streaming. My configurations are all kind of crazy right now, so I gotta like reconfigure my OBS and all that stuff so that I can actually stream and have a chance at having a smooth stream. But ideally, really, I want to stream so that I can play more stuff, finish the games I've been collecting, and I also want to get into figure building too. I've spoken to Gunner Eos about this.
Yeah, boy.
So I bought a few like low grade Gunpla or whatever, and I've been looking at some other stuff, like just military like vehicles and things like that. So I plan to get into model building or kit building, whatever you call it. Building kits.
I call it model building. Yeah, I'm sure there's some model technical building term out there.
And then eventually, that I'll get into painting them and stuff like that because I'd like to customize them. And I also want to collect more Monster Hunter miniatures and build like little scenes between like different monsters and stuff. That's something I want to do as well. So I do want to get back to streaming, finishing some of the great games that I've been picking up this past year, as well as model building, and as well as building my little like Monster Hunter, like, what would you call it, dioramas?
Dioramas, yeah.
Of little scenes, but I need space for that. That's another thing. So that's something I need to worry about too. But yeah, that's kind of what I plan to do in 2023. So I'll let you go, Gunner, and then we can.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So some of my, I guess, gaming resolutions would kind of be around the same vein. I also struggle with finishing games. I've kind of nailed down why it is that I personally do it. I have a really bad time ending a video game because subconsciously in my head, if I don't finish the game never ends. So I'll usually play, my main thing is RPGs, strategy RPGs and such. So I'll play those games for hundreds of hours and then I just won't finish it because in my brain, if I don't finish it, it's not finished, and the ride, so to speak, never ended. That's a horribly bad habit because I end up with a ton of games that I'm, at the final boss. I'm 2 hours from the final. It's always at like the final door, the point of no return, and literally all I have to do in most of these cases is just beat the final boss and finish the game. And I compound that by buying new games, and thus the vicious cycle repeats itself. So yeah, I'm gonna try to, instead of buying new games, which I will still buy new stuff, I'm gonna try to kind of go back into the backlog and finish what's just been left unfinished, so I can put the game to bed, beat it, and move on. As far as like hobbies that are different from video games, yeah, I kind of want to get also I do build Gunpla, but I want to kind of maybe up the game a little bit. Like you talked about, eventually you start painting them and you want to create little dioramas for the Monster Hunter miniatures, which I've seen people do dioramas for things like 40K and regular Warhammer, and those things are amazing. So if you can like have a miniature desert with a Basarios fighting a fucking Diablos, or two Diabloses fighting, a black and a normal one, like that'll be the shit. Like that's fucking amazing. And there's something special about that because that's something you did as opposed to you just buying this thing already pre-done and made for you. But yeah, so as far as me and my model building goes, I also want to kind of, bump it up to the next level. I want to start experimenting with paints. Every day I stare into the black hole that is Warhammer 40K miniatures, and I know that once I buy a box, it's pretty much game over. But maybe you know what? I'm buying less video games, which we'll get into, because they're not a the video game industry is not exactly full of winners nowadays. So my disposable income that I allot myself is kind of there. It's not being used. So I figured, if I'm only buying one or two games like every couple months, let me look into some of these other hobbies and kind of, bump them up as as it goes. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Like get back, I want to grow my library of books. I like reading sci-fi and fantasy novels and some military history stuff. So I want to kind of grow that and kind of have an impressive library of books that I've actually read. I don't want to be like those pretentious people that have a whole library and they've never read a single book in them. So, I want to start bumping that up. I'm, much like yourself, I'm a dinosaur. I'm one of those pesky physical media type of guys. I also want to start getting anime and movies and DVDs and Blu-rays, so I just could have that little stockpile of media to hold on to, because digital is winning or has won, depending on who you ask. So I figured I can't stop this tide. I might as well preserve what I can and have my own little library, so to speak, and physically. But yeah, that's it. It's collecting and going back in time, essentially, for me.
I feel you, brother. I think it's two things happening, right? I could be wrong. At least I'll speak for myself. One is nostalgia. Nostalgia definitely plays a factor.
Oh
in
yeah,
me wanting to go back and play older stuff and embracing older ways of doing things or consuming media. And two, I think it's also we also see the negatives of what's to come, right? Of this new format or a new way of distribution, of content distribution. You shared an article in our chat earlier about like the Madden save data or whatever, how it's like cloud saved, and because it's cloud saved, it's preserved by servers controlled by the publisher. There was a hiccup or the hack or something, a breach of some kind, and a bunch of people, a bunch of their like Madden league or whatever it is, where you customize your own like NFL league, was corrupted, and they lost all that data, all that time, right? And according to the article, only 40% of the players are going to be able to salvage their content, which is like fucking ridiculous. Like
40% of the Madden player base is huge.
Yeah, more than half people are just going to lose their progress. Oh well, right? And EA is just kind of shrugging their shoulders and is like, well, them's the breaks, and that's insane to me. That's like, could you imagine, like, for those listening, like, think about a game that you play a lot of. Like, I play a lot of Pokemon, for example. Each Pokemon game I put in...
That's the first thing I thought of.
I put in a ton of hours. For me, personally, the Pokemon and Monster Hunter 2 games, I put a lot of time into each game. And I've lost save data for those games before, and it hurts.
Oh, so, I remember Monster Hunter. Yeah, right, that was rough.
My Monster Hunter 4 save data wasn't corrupt, but the 3DS was taken. And so, along with it went all my save data. Hundreds of hours of progress. And I never looked at that game. And I love Monster Hunter 4, but the amount of work that I
It's
put
too
into that
much.
game, it's
Yeah.
like, and that was years ago, right? And I still think about that shit. So that's what those Madden players are gonna feel. And listen, I'm not a sports guy or whatever, but it's still a game. It's still gamers out there. It's still this is people put a lot of time into their Madden leagues and stuff like that. It's like
Oh
fantasy
yeah.
football. I get it. I'm not gonna like shun it. I think it's fine. Whatever. That's what you're into, and that's what you like. Then that's what you like. But to lose hundreds of hours of like progress, like that hurts. That hurts.
And the fact that there's just like all of that was out of their hands. Like there was no, you couldn't back it up somewhere. It wasn't on a for those that remember, it wasn't on like a memory card, or you couldn't even save it to an SD card. It was all on their servers. So that was out of their hands. There was nothing those players could do about that.
And so, and not to go off on a tangent with that particular story, but like it's stories like that reminds me, well, that wouldn't happen if I just had it on my memory card.
Yeah.
And fair enough. Some people might say, well, what if your memory card gets stolen, like your 3DS got stolen? True, that could happen too. But
they also could get corrupted. That is something that can happen.
Yeah, over time things can get corrupted. That's true. Like you're not. There's no perfect, foolproof way. But shit, man, I have personal responsibility in my physical belongings.
Right.
So if I don't protect them or take care of them, it kind of falls on me, right? If I don't have the foresight to back things up on multiple drives or whatever, it kind of falls on me. Like if I lose the data, it's like, all right, well, it's my fault for not backing it up.
Yeah.
Whereas in this situation, like what accountability can you take as an individual player? Like there is none. It's like, well, it's my fault for fucking playing the game, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I guess, but that's not exactly reasonable either. So it's things like that kind of worry me about the future of gaming. And like as time passes, like I'm definitely inching away from like mainstream AAA stuff, and I think the only games that I'm probably going to get day one this year might be RE4 Remake, not Ace Combat, I'm sorry, Armored Core,
right.
I think that's it. Like I can't think of anything else that's like.
I mean, I have my weeb shit. So there's some JRPGs that are coming out as the filming of this video. A new Fire Emblem comes out on the 20th. So it's looking good. Hate the main character's fucking retarded hair color, but that's just, I guess that's a personal take I have to get over. But you know what? Like same thing. A lot of the AAA stuff just doesn't interest me. Like there's a new Final Fantasy 16 is on the horizon. Not interested. I'm not interested in fucking owning a PlayStation 5, so I can't even play the thing. I mean, Forspoken is coming out. I saw Logical, Mr. Esoteric of Logical Gamers. I saw him play the demo, and I was just utterly unimpressed. It was boring, bland. The character was obnoxious, and not because of the way she looks. She was just obnoxious. You could have painted her any skin color. Make her a fucking blue alien with fucking tentacle hair. Obnoxious character.
The character just isn't likable. It's just not likable to me.
So it's like this is what I get emails from Square Enix about. Oh, Forspoken, pre-order now and get fucking black and yellow nails, because that's her equipment. Fucking innovative, am I right? And it's just like, I'm not interested in any of that. There's one game that, and this is you could say, oh, Gunner, you can just upgrade your PC and play it, and I would say you're right, but I'm lazy and I don't want to. Is the new 40K game, Space Marine 2, will be on a PlayStation 5, but as much as I love 40K, I'm not gonna drop $500 on a system to play a game that is an action game, so it's inherently just going to be a short game, replayability aside. So, next gen AAA just doesn't interest me, and I kind of like, I'm kind of sticking around for the indies. I got my little Switch, it does its best, it does what I need it to do, and it gets access to indie games. like fucking the amazing RPG that I played, Chains of Chaos. Fucking love that game. I fucking show that game all day because it's just a great game that I'm not getting from Square Enix. I'm not getting from Konami. I'm not getting from Capcom. I'm not getting from these people anymore. So AAA just ain't doing it for me anymore. Yeah, so hey, look, maybe I'll pick up some more manga. Maybe I'll start building a manga collection. I got options, man. I got options.
Yeah, that's true. Like, as far as other AAA, I mean, there's other stuff that I'm kind of interested in. Like, I want to play the new Street Fighter 6. I want to try the new Dead Space or the remake of Dead Space 1. There are things, but Final Fantasy 16 is intriguing, but again, well, it's going to be PS5 exclusive. I have an Xbox. I don't intend on getting a PlayStation 5 anytime soon. And with the trend that I've seen over the last few years, like a game comes out, right? It's $60. Within a year, sometimes less than a year, it dips down 20-25% in value. And then if you give it another year, so about 2 years time, that's gonna become a $20 game, right?
Bro,
So
perfect example. Not just to interject real quick.
go for it.
Field Chronicles, an RPG released by Square Enix, came out in October. Right, came out mid-October.
Mm-hmm.
By November, I bought that game for $40 from GameStop, brand new. It's like this game was out a month.
Just wait. Like it's gonna happen. Like Callisto Protocol came out, I was excited for it. Then I heard some like mixed reviews about it. I was like, maybe I'll wait on this one. And maybe by the summer I'll pick it up when it's like 30, 25, $30. That's fine. It'll be if anything, I will get a better experience.
You will
for less for just waiting. And it's not like I'm gonna play the game right now. It's not like I have a huge backlog. Like, what's the rush? I think there are certain games you should pick up day one. We talked about this in our day one podcast from a few months ago. Like, there's some JRPGs that was like, if you don't pick this up day one, you're gonna have a hard time finding it later, and it's only gonna go up in value. But there's only a handful of games that happens to.
Yeah.
So, when it comes to AAA stuff, it's going to be available. At least currently, until digital completely takes over, and that's the only way to consume new media. Then that's a different conversation. Then it's like, well,
right. Trust me, you could find any copy of the latest Assassin's Creed game in any GameStop or mom and pop's shop if you really want to find it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I ended up getting pretty much all of the Assassin's Creed games on Xbox One because there were just like a bunch of sales, like get 4 games and spend 20 or whatever it is. So I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'll get all the Assassin's Creed games, and I spent less on getting all of them than I would have on buying one of them brand new on day one.
Yep.
And I'm getting the same experience. It's not like I'm going to have a lesser experience. If anything, I'm going to get a better experience.
Yep. Because you'll get it after the patches. Yep.
Yeah, it's fully patched. This is what the game should have been at launch. That's what I'm paying $5 or $10 for. I call that a win. That's
the only company and the games that stubbornly hold their value is Nintendo games. So,
and you know why? Because their games are quality games and they hold up. They stand the test of time. So I'm okay with that. It sucks as a consumer, but I'm okay with it because it's like I know if I'm buying this game, it's gonna retain its value.
Yeah, I mean, Pokemon Violet Scarlet is a little. Well, I'm just being a fucking troll. But it is in a rough shape. But if you look past it, as a casual guy who puts nowhere near the hours of you, Wolf, and apparently Zeta, because he's apparently a fucking Pokemon prodigy that no one knew existed, and to a lesser extent, Mr. Esoteric, you guys put tons more hours than I will ever put into a Pokemon game. So from a casual player, it is a competent game, and I did have fun with my playthrough. But it is in a rough state. It's to this day, as the filming of this, it's still in a pretty rough state.
Yeah.
But that's one of those games that you buy Violet when it came out. You buy Violet 4 years from now. still going to be the same price. You might be able to get it $5 less, but
I mean, at most you'd be lucky. I mean, the moons have to align for you to get it half off. Because now, Pokemon Sword and Shield came out in 2019. They're now like $40, $35, $40, and that's because there's just like so many in stock. As soon as those inventory levels kind of like simmer down a little bit, the value is going to go right back up to like late 40s, 50s.
Yep.
So
okay.
So I agree with you. But new challenger has approached. Wolf is here. We are currently recording. Hey Wolf, what's up, man?
What's up?
Hello.
So we're doing a expectations and kind of gaming resolutions for 2023. So if you want to jump in and tell us yours, you're welcome to.
Hold on.
I'll tell you what. I'll continue to talk, and you'll collect your thoughts, and you'll let us know. How's that sound? Fair?
Yeah, that's much better. Much better.
Okay, cool.
Alrighty.
Wasn't expecting that one, huh? So yeah, like Nintendo games tend to hold their value, and they tend to go up in value. So I don't feel bad investing into those games, but AAA games, like other more common AAA games, not worth it.
No, they've been proven time and again that wait a month, wait a couple months, and they're gonna drop dramatically in price. So
yeah,
why buy day one?
So yeah, my new rule of thumb is just to wait a year. So I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna give it at least 8 to 12 months per game that I'm interested in, that I know is coming out, before I jump into it. Unless it's something that I'm confident in, like RE4. Like I'm a big Resident Evil fan. I bought most of the Resident Evil games day one, and I think the only one I regretted buying day one was RE3 remake. That one was really disappointing.
Yeah.
I still enjoyed it to a degree, but it could have been a lot better. But then again, I don't regret it because this was like the start of the pandemic or whatever, so I did need something to take my mind off of current events at the time. And then Armored Core. I haven't played Armored Core since PS3. That's when I really got into it. Was Verdict Day Verdict Day was like the re-release of Armored Core 5. But I did play Armored Core 5 with you guys for a little bit, and I did enjoy it. I thought it was an awesome game. So I'm looking forward to see what From Software does with this new entry. And it's been almost 10 years since we've had a game. So, and that's kind of it. Like that there's really nothing else I could think of right now that has me like salivating, in 2023 game-wise.
No. I mean, there's rumblings about a new Monster Hunter. I've seen some stuff about hints.
I mean, I'm sure they got something in the works, but if they haven't announced it, it's not coming out this year.
No, yeah, you're probably right. Yeah.
So if we get anything this year from Capcom regarding a new Monster Hunter mainline Monster Hunter game, it'll be at the Tokyo Game Show later this year, or maybe the Game Awards, or at the earliest E3, like that E3 week. We'll get like a little teaser trailer or something like that. But they definitely don't want to derail Sunbreak's momentum. Sunbreak is still within its like second wave, because every Monster Hunter game has two waves, right? Initial wave and then like expansion wave. It's still on that expansion wave, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna stop supporting Sunbreak. I mean, I don't have the roadmap in front of me, but I'm assuming the end of the year, until the end of this year. So if we do get an announcement, it'll be later this year.
I think Sunbreak just got some new fights. I don't think new monsters, but it got new like beefy monsters, beefy versions of the existing monsters to fight.
Some new like subcategories or subspecies.
Yeah, I have my own my own gripes with Rise as to why I don't really play it anymore. But yeah, so Monster Hunter, unless they completely deviate from what makes Monster Hunter Monster Hunter, that's probably like you said, that'd probably be a day one for me. Like I said, the Weeb stuff, Fire Emblem. They have a new Altai Ryza for the folks watching and listening know what that's about. Armored Core.
Is that the Alchemist of
had
the West game, or is that different?
it's in the same world, so you're
Oh,
right.
okay, all
Yeah.
right, I'm close. I'm close. All right.
Yeah. So, those games are really popular, and I enjoy them for what they are. So that's probably a given for me. And yeah, just a bunch of RPGs, really, and not from the big guys. Not like I said before, not 16, not fucking Forspoken. Just like the smaller games. Octopath Traveler 2. I'm looking
Oh
at that
yeah,
one.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'm hoping Triangle Strategy 2, they do something with that, or maybe if not a direct sequel, somewhere in the world. Battle Network Collection is coming out.
That's right. Yeah, I do want to get that. But that's like
Cap-
is that considered a AAA game at this point?
No,
'Cause it's gonna
no.
launch at $40, right? I'm
Yeah,
assuming.
because I think it's 40 or 50, because Capcom is like, haha, money, we'll split it. So you get one. They did the same thing that
They're
they
gonna
did
do
with
the
the
volume 1 and 2, right? Same
yeah,
thing they did
yeah,
with Mega Man,
yep,
Mega Man X Collection, Mega Man Collection.
yeah.
Yeah, that figures. I mean,
So
I can't. Hey, I respect the hustle. I get it.
I mean, yeah, it's either that or I bust out my Game Boy Advance, because those are my personal options. I don't emulate. Um, so like there's stuff coming out, but it's mostly just I call it double A games within the triple A space. Like, I love Triangle Strategy, but it's not a triple A game. I consider it a double A game, but it's just funded by Square Enix. They provide the money and the capital and the development teams, and these smaller teams, they make the game. So fuck it, I'll give Square Enix money for a competent game that reminds me of yesteryear, and they can keep their bloated, graphics infused AAA mess. You'll get some money out of me, but you won't get all the money out of me.
That's fair. Yeah, I forgot about that. The Mega Man Battle Network collection. I'm not a Battle Network guy. Like those are games that I skipped over back in the day. I just didn't get it. I was like, I don't quite understand this gameplay. I was just a dumbass teenager at the time. So like, maybe you and Zeta, and I know Wolf played them a little bit too. Were more advanced or more interested in more advanced gameplay. I was kind of just still on my unga bunga shit. I still am, but I'm a little more open minded these days compared to 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So I'm interested in trying them, and I know there's like deep strategy involved, and like there's a lot of potential with multiplayer and stuff. So I'd be willing to try it. And I don't mind supporting anything Mega Man related because that's one of my childhood franchises that I've enjoyed a lot. So I want Capcom to continue to develop things for Mega Man, quality things for Mega Man. That is.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I liked Battle Network much the same reason I like the weird Mario Party spin-off. Oh, not Mario Party, but the weird Mario spin-offs like the Mario Luigi RPGs, because I was just never a fan of the mainline game. The mainline Mario, the mainline Mega Man. I don't know. For me, it just has to line up for me to play a platformer and enjoy it. So it's just, if you don't hit those enjoyment factors for me, not that these games are bad, obviously they're not. They're like key franchises, but it's just not for me. So I liked Battle Network because I like the concept of Mega Man. I think Mega Man is cool in his appearance and what he does, but Battle Network was it's like an RPG, but it's more action oriented because you have to move on the fly and you have an interesting grid system that you have to adhere to, and you can destroy pieces of the grid and put traps. So it was an RPG that allowed me to move, and it was active, and I was engaged within it. So I was like, oh, okay, this is cool, and it's Mega Man. So that's why I like Battle Network.
No, that's fair. After doing some like independent research, just looking at videos and stuff, gameplay, I'm like, wow, this game does like with fresh eyes, right? Like with eyes from a 30-year-old's perspective, I can appreciate what that game was, is. I just couldn't appreciate it when I was like 15 or whatever. I was into what I was into.
Yeah. No, we're all dumb. We're all dumb when we're that age.
I still am dumb. I don't claim to be like hyper intelligent at all. I think I'm smart enough to get by and not get myself killed.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, but yeah. So, any new consoles you plan to buy? Like, I don't plan to buy anything grand in 2023. Probably just gonna get a few of those games I mentioned before. Is this the year you're gonna jump to PS5, or what do you think?
Probably not. Like I said, the only game that is, oh man, I really wish I had a PS5 here, is the 40K Space Marine 2, and that's because I'm just a 40K fucking nut. It looks like a competent game, but it's also 40K is usually relegated to the PC world, so this is one that's coming to us console plebs as well. But like I said, I can't. I mean, I could, but to drop 500 plus on a system for one game, I know I'm a hypocrite because I've done that for Zelda, but I can't not. I can't do that. I can't. I can't. So probably not unless maybe a financial headwind comes my way, and even then, it's I've had the opportunity to buy that and a Steam Deck, and it's just like I don't see the need personally for me to own that. It's no shame on the Steam Deck. I don't want fucking Steam Deck fans to crucify me, but it's just I don't care enough to get it. It's just it looks nice. It's nice, but it's just not worth it for me. I just like my little dinky Switch. Just does what I need it to do.
I feel you on that. I mean, and it's not like you don't have access to a PS5, right? Like, you technically could just get the game and play it on
That's
the console that's in your household. So it's
that's probably what I'll end up doing. So it's like it's another reason for me to not rush out and get it. Because I have, like you said, I do have access to a PS5 that I could just buy the 40K game and play it and be like, that was fun, cool.
And then just add it to your library, because eventually maybe you'll get the second or third model of PS5.
That's kind of what I'm holding out for. I'm holding out for a PS5 Pro Extreme Extra Large, whatever you want to call it. It's coming. We all know it's coming. If you don't think it is, you're in denial. I thought that was going to happen to the Switch. I thought a Switch Pro was coming. But at this point, we're almost a decade, or we're getting close to a. We're past 5 years, I think, of the Switch.
2017 is when it came out, so
yeah,
we're past that half a decade mark,
yeah,
which is impressive, considering they've made it this far with very minimal upgrades from iteration to iteration.
Literally a screen, and I think a better battery life. That's about it.
Yeah.
So at this point, I'm waiting for the announcement of Switch 2 or whatever kooky crazy name they'll come up with their system.
Oh shit! You just reminded me. Well, the other game I'm gonna get is the new Zelda game, Tears of the Kingdom.
Well, yeah. I didn't mention it because that's a given. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we should probably put that out there. I'm definitely buying that game because I loved Breath of the Wild. I thought it was awesome. So that's in May, right? So
yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm a fucking huge Zelda fan. I have a ton of merch dedicated to Zelda. That's just like, okay, here you go. Here's the 65. Apparently there's a leaked a Switch that's coming out.
As
much as I would like to own it, I'm a lot older now, and I can't really justify dropping $300 for a collector's item. Kind of. I mean, so props to the people who are gonna get it, and maybe a used one will hit the market, hit my local GameStop, and I might reconsider then. I don't know. Crazier things have happened, but
true.
Yeah, no. Tears of the Kingdom is a given. I'm gonna try to get whatever is the equivalent of the Master Sword Edition this time around, since I was unlucky with Breath of the Wild's Master Sword Edition. So I will be on top of that one, and I'll drop some pre-order money and make sure I get me one of those this time around, because it's gonna happen. But yeah, but I'm pretty sure since there hasn't been a direct upgrade to the Switch, and I don't think there will be at this point. I could be wrong, but I really don't think there will be. At this point, I'm just waiting for Switch 2 to come out. or whatever its equivalent. And my only hope, whenever that happens, is that if it's either using the same cartridge system or it is fucking compatible, because I have a pretty, not huge, but big enough collection of Switch games, and I would like to know that my new system will take the cartridges. But you best believe I will buy another OLED, keep that sealed, and I will have a backup OLED Switch in case. Don't worry.
I mean, it could be the Zelda one.
Maybe yeah, maybe we'll see.
All right, so Wolf is in the chat. I didn't think he would be available tonight. So, Wolf, are you there? No, he stepped away. Okay. All right, so I guess we'll keep the train going. So yeah, I did forget about Zelda. Definitely gonna get that. So that makes 3 games that I'll buy this year. 4 if you include the Mega Man collection. I don't know. Will we see a PS5 remodel or an Xbox remodel or a Switch remodel? Like, is that possible? Do you think that'll happen in 2023? I don't think so.
Definitely not for the Switch. The next thing that's going to be announced is a brand new console. That's my guess. As far as the PS5, I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. I don't want to misquote anything, but I know the PS5. Okay, so thanks to the power of the internet, the PS5, as of now, has surpassed 30 million in sales. So the PS5 has made a significant chunk of change, and that's just the base model. I don't think, as of now, as of 2023, they feel a need to redo their to upgrade to a better model. If you come back to me in 2024, then I might sing a different tune. As far as Xbox goes, I admittedly, even though I'm not, what do they call them? Sony ponies anymore. I guess I'm a fucking Nintendroid if we're using retarded 5-year-old nomenclature. But I don't keep track of Xbox. But I know Game Pass is just fucking killing it for Microsoft, and Microsoft is investing heavily into Game Pass and heavily into other things. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Stay tuned for that episode. But
Yes.
so I don't think Microsoft is really interested in updating their Xbox anytime soon, because I think Microsoft is really big on the digital front with Game Pass and whatnot. So their Xbox, I'm probably speaking out of my ass, but
Well, we all are.
Xbox,
That's the point
yeah,
of the podcast.
right. I'm just, don't fact check me, fact checkers out there, because I admit I'm just talking off the cuff. But as far as what I'm picking up from Microsoft and what they're doing is that the Xbox is literally just a box. It is a device for them to kind of house Game Pass and play Xbox games. And let's be real. If Microsoft is suffering from anything, they're suffering from first party scarcity. As much as people, myself included, have grown to dislike first party games and this whole tribalism of, oh, we got Aloy and we've got God of War, we got Kratos, and well, we have Master Chief and we have Marcus Phoenix. That shit, it's dumb to me now as I've gotten older. It's like, bro, just let people just play what they want, and you pick the box that you want to play it in. But I understand we're in a capitalist society. I've got to make my product stand out from this guy's product. So I understand the necessity, I guess, for first party games. But if we're going to go by that, Microsoft doesn't have a lot. Halo Infinite is not doing so hot. Gears of War is where? Their last game was Gears 5, which came out for last gen system. There's no, at least as of the filming of this video, I have not seen anything in relation to a new Gears of War game coming out. Right. So
they've got
and
IPs. It's just nothing substantial has come out for those IPs in a long time. Like they have access to all Rare's stuff, like Banjo Kazooie, Perfect Dark, Killer Instinct. They've done nothing with that stuff at all, really. With the exception of maybe Killer Instinct, which came out in 2013, 2014, which was now 8 years ago, right? It's like,
right.
it doesn't feel
Right.
like 8 years ago, but it is. Um, and they also have like Gears, like you mentioned, but they've done nothing with it recently. Gears Tactics was the last thing to come out, and that came out like 2 years ago. Um, Halo, I mean, that's about the only thing that's got some traction, and we haven't seen anything for that. Anything new, at least, for that since, a year or 2 years ago now. They have, what else do they have? Fable. There's supposed to be a new Fable,
Oh, that's right.
game,
There is supposedly a new Fable. Okay, well
but
that's
we
something.
have no news on that. So like that might be in development. Hell, that may never see the day of light. So it's hard to say, right? As far as first party, they have stuff. Maybe they're just putting the wrong people in those teams on those projects to actually produce something that they feel is worth sending out into the market. I don't know.
But I just think it could be. You could be right. Definitely with Halo Infinite because I've kept up with the clusterfuck that is their live service because we just love doing that. Their live service Halo multiplayer, and that shit is just not well received by the Halo community at large. So Halo Infinite, as far as the multiplayer aspect, I heard the campaign is competent. As far as the multiplayer aspect, which Microsoft wants to be the main aspect, not doing so well. But I really think Microsoft is just all in on that Game Pass. Recently, they did a partnership with Riot Games, so now you can play Valorant and League of Legends on Game Pass. So you're teaming up with, and you're making accessible. Valorant is relatively new but popular, but you're making League of Legends one of the premier dominant MOBAs ever that started MOBAs and is really the only one minus Dota that is still kicking. You made that available to Game Pass. I think that's what Microsoft wants. Microsoft wants to make partnerships with either subsidiaries that they own or any deals they can make with other companies to make their games accessible on Game Pass. And with its cheap entry fee, they want to get as many people on Game Pass as possible. So I think Microsoft is pretty set with Game Pass being their future in gaming.
Yeah, and I think
Which
it makes a lot of sense.
does nothing for physical ownership. So
It sure
put
doesn't.
that other
What's funny
nail.
is I have Xbox. I don't have Game Pass. I have
I have Game
everything.
Pass on my PC.
So it's like I get what they're doing. I think it makes sense from a business standpoint, but from an individual, like my individual values don't subscribe to maining Game Pass. Like I might eventually have it, but I don't see myself like being like using that as my main source of like how I get access to games.
Yeah, and I think
Because,
that's what Microsoft wants. They want
yeah,
that to be
it's
your
it's definitely a behavioral like
yeah.
experiment. It's like not even an experiment, but like a I don't know what you would call it, but it's the plan in place is to get people to kind of change how they consume content, and Microsoft wants to be the first place or the main place you go to access that content. It's kind of like
Yeah.
becoming like the middleman in any industry. It's like, okay, well, if you want this product, I know the guys who produce this product, and I know you want to buy it, so you got to do business with me in order to get this stuff. And so Microsoft kind of wants to be in the middle of everything, right? They want to be able to connect. They want to be the catalyst that connects, like,
And I kind of like how Netflix changed streaming.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Blockbuster used to be the king. You go on Saturday, Friday evening with your family. You pick movies and games you're gonna play and watch over the weekend. Then Netflix was like, "Hey, you can do all that. You can stay home. We'll just mail you some DVDs." Then it's like when streaming took over, bro. If you can move your fat ass off the couch and get to the mouse or the remote, just watch whatever you want.
Yep. And
True.
Blockbuster executives was like, "Where's the golden parachute?" Abort mission.
Get out this bitch. And we make fun of digital consoles, in my opinion, rightly so, because if you're walking out of a fucking game store with a digital console and you got a smile on your face, there's something fundamentally wrong with you. Fucking take that how you will, audience. But
I have a story to tell, but before I do that,
Okay.
Wolf is back. He just chimed in. So Wolf, tell us like some of the things you want to kind of accomplish gaming wise, and like as it relates to like what we talk about here on the podcast in 2023. What are some things you're looking forward to? What are some things you plan to do? Behavioral changes, like what does that look like for you?
Well, behavioral changes for me is probably just actually completing the video games that I
That's
start.
all of our
especially
fucking
the-
things. We
Yeah.
all said the same thing.
Especially the story-based ones. I
True. Fair enough.
like
oh, it's fine.
couldn't do that. I'm really bad at doing that. As far as like what I'm looking forward to, I'm not gonna lie. There is some games that is considered, I guess, AAA that I'm looking forward to. And then there are some games specifically for the Nintendo Switch that I want to expand on. I'm pretty sure Gunnar spoke about the RPGs, the various RPGs that's coming out on the Switch. The Persona 3 and 4, I believe, is now being
Those I
released on
didn't
the Switch.
mention, so yeah, that's a good
Mhm.
point.
Even though I've played Persona 4 maybe 3 or 4 times, I think this is the final time that I would love to play it, especially if I know Atlas, they'll usually add in things. I don't know if they're gonna add in anything on this one. I would hope so. But I am looking forward to Persona 3 and 4 again, since I already have Persona 5 on the Switch. Then I'm honestly, Fire Emblem looks really good to me. I've been doing my research on the gameplay, and it actually precedes the two main character designs. The two main character designs really did throw me off at first. I was like, "Whoa, you're
But
very colorful
you don't
and
like
very
Pepsi?
bright." Yeah, but looking at the gameplay and looking at like what Nintendo has in store for Fire Emblem and how ambitious this game looks, I feel like I'm gonna enjoy it. So I am looking forward to Fire Emblem. What's it called? Engage.
Yes.
Engage, yeah.
Yeah, and there's of course Zelda. That's a given. Not even gonna you know harp on that too much. And then a month later, I guess the AAA title that I'm looking into is Street Fighter 6. I am interested in playing Street Fighter 6. I'm a fighting game enthusiast at heart still. Street Fighter 6 looks like it's gonna be, pretty solid. Um, so other than that whole crazy, weird story mode thing, as long as that doesn't interfere with me practicing with my characters in training mode, then getting online to fight other people, I'm okay with it. I don't care about aesthetics. I don't care about costume unlocks. I don't care about in-game currency. I just want to throw some Hadokens into people's faces. That's it. That's what I'm looking for. And that's really about it. Usually I base my games off of what you guys play anyway. So if you guys come across any recommendations throughout the year, then I'll look into it, of course. I can't think of anything else, to be honest. Like, no, I'm even looking at a list of there's the Mega Man. I might buy that. Um, Mega Man Battle Network, and that's about it. As far as like what I'm looking forward to, like standing out to me to look
Right.
forward to, of course, yeah. But like, of course, there's always those video games that always slip in, and it's like, oh wait, what is this? Or video games that look like it's gonna be meh, and then when it actually comes out, or when I get more details on it, it becomes more and more interesting. So I have to wait and see. Tales of Symphonia is supposed to come out this year as well.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah.
hmm So it's a lot of old games that's being remade that I'm interested in, which is bad. It says a lot.
It's like, what does it say about the modern video game industry? That's like, ooh, I can't wait to play that game that was on the GameCube in 2010.
Yeah. So yeah. Um, that's about it. Not interested in anything else, really.
Well, I think it's two things. So it's number one, the market is craving these older games to come back, because if it wasn't, they wouldn't make them, right? Because they know there's an opportunity to make money there, which is why all the fucking Resident Evils got remade in the last 5 years, right? So that's one.
Mhm.
Two is because games or modern games, I think, have like larger budgets and take more time to like produce than past games. Uh, there's a hole in the market. Like the amount of games that used to come out maybe 10 years ago or 20 years ago compared to today, there's like definitely a lower population. So like these remakes kind of pad out the calendar year of releases, and so
Mm.
those re-releases kind of like fund other projects and also kind of keep the flow of money, um,
Mm.
of consumers consuming products from these companies. So I think that's what's happening there. Those two things. So,
But I know the third week of January is going to be very expensive. Gonna Persona 3 and 4 comes out the same day. I didn't know that.
Yeah, they do. They come out, same day.
Yeah, January 19th. And then Fire Emblem is the next day.
Oh,
That's not even fair.
I was like, okay, well, I played P4 and P3 a lot. Fire Emblem Engage is new, so I figured I'll get Engage first because that's a brand new Fire Emblem game. Play that, and then probably just play. Probably me personally, I like P3 more. I'd probably get P3, run through P3, beat that, then get P4, run through P4. Because you're exactly right. If you buy P3, P4, and Fire Emblem, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot.
how much are those
But I
games
think I'll
going
follow.
for? The Persona remakes.
Say that again?
How much are they going to go for? Are they going to go like $40, $50 each?
I believe they're
Oh,
50. They're not
Ooh,
full price 60. I believe they're 50.
that's still high. Oof.
It's
yeah.
and Engage is full price 65.
That's gonna be full price regardless. That's gonna
Yeah.
be full price forever.
So I
Um,
say go with the brand new entry in a franchise because you know what P4 is, you know what P3 is,
yeah.
and they're not going anywhere. At least not yet. But so yeah, that's my plan. Um,
Mhm.
go with Engage first.
Yeah, I might do that. The only thing that worries me is like how hard will P3 and P4 be when I'm ready to find physical
Yeah, but
when I'm
we
ready
were
to buy it.
we were talking about that earlier in the
Yeah.
episode.
Mhm.
These, especially for things like the Switch, whether it's because they're produced less or demand for Switch versions of the game is higher. I think it's a little bit of both. Especially Switch copies, they just fucking. Oh man, they were here one week, and now the next week I can't find it within the entire fucking tri-state area. New York
Yeah,
State doesn't have it.
yeah. So that's what concerns me, but I'm probably gonna be tactical and just get Emblem first and pray to God, like sometime in February I can find 3 and 4 that's not hiked up in price on Amazon.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, that's the thing. And that's about it as far. I feel like I own all the consoles that I need to own. I don't feel like I need an Xbox. I'm not into the whole. I don't have enough time to play that many games to need a streaming gaming service.
That's a good point. Yeah,
So it's to be like, okay, yeah, I'm paying for Game Pass, and I don't know how much Game Pass is, but say it's $10 a month.
that's exactly it. You're right.
Okay, so I get an unlimited amount of games I can play for $10 a month. But if I can't even complete one story for one game, I'm not gonna play that many games. So that $10 becomes a waste of money for me. So while that is I think it's an amazing business tactic for the company. It's for me as a personal consumer. I don't feel like I need to purchase an Xbox. If I do change consoles or get into another gaming type console, it would be PC, maybe. Um, and yeah, but other than that, I'm good.
I mean, now if you wanted to do that, it's the perfect time. Just save, buy a Steam Deck. It's pretty much all in one. It's right there. It's still portable. You won't be playing it on fucking ultra high quality settings, but the Steam Deck is beefy enough that you can play pretty much most PC games at a decent resolution, and it's relative. It's affordable. It's pricey, but it is affordable. So I mean, if you do want to get into PC gaming, the Steam Deck came around at a pretty good time.
Yeah, maybe that's the way you go. But just to close up, I'll just share a quick story, and then we can go home. So during the holidays, working at a game store again this past holiday, and the amount of people that purchased digital consoles with physical disc is staggering. It's like people would come back with a stack of games and like, hey, I'm returning all of these. And I would go, hey, so what was the issue with the games? And they're like, oh, I bought the digital console. And I would look at them befuddled, like, why did you not know it was digital? It's like, I knew, but I bought the games anyway.
What?
Not realizing I wasn't even going to be able to play these at all. And I'm like, that's got to be the stupidest shit I've ever heard in my life. Like, yeah, I bought gas, but I don't have a car. It's like, what? Why would... So that happened more than it should have.
They thought there was like a secret slot that they had to like solve the puzzle.
Yeah, that was wild to me. So like it's weird, and maybe it's just the area that I'm working in, to where people haven't fully assimilated to like the new way of consuming media. I don't know. Maybe these were just gift givers who just didn't know any better. I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, but it's still like, wow, like kind of eye opening. It was hard for me not to give them like a look. You know, it took a lot of effort to just kind of look neutral. So that happened, and then the other funny thing that happened a lot. It happened like 7 times. I'm like, what the hell? Like a lot of I guess new Switch consumers bought the Switch OLED and came back like irate, like it's not compatible with HDMI. There's no way to connect it to the TV. And I'm like, what do you mean? It comes with an HDMI cable. And you just hook it into the dock. And they're like, where? And they would pull out the dock and be like, where? Show me. And be all angry with me. And I'm like, okay, I'll show you. And then the little door in the back, I just open and they see. And they go,
oh my god.
And I'm like, really? Like
I weep for humanity.
Really? Like, it comes with an instruction manual. You have access to YouTube. Like, any problem that you have, any question that comes to mind, you will find a solution on YouTube with visual aids. Right? Like, come on, dude.
Even still, it's like, ooh, there seems to be a piece of plastic on the back of the dock that has a hinge of some sort. What happens if I apply some pressure? Oh my god, it's a door. It's a hatch. Holy shit. Who would have thought?
Dude.
Wow.
Blew my mind. I was like, wow. This is incredible for all the wrong reasons. So anyway, I just want to share those little funny incidents that have happened more times than I can count on one hand, which is really, really sad. Just to me. That's not including like other members of the staff and other, game stores in the area.
Other stores, yeah.
Yeah, but anyway. With that being said, looking forward to 2023 and what it has to provide. Looking forward to what indie games kind of crop up. Hopefully, the AAA games that do come out are fruitful. I'm gonna temper my expectations. We'll see. We'll see how this Microsoft plan to take over the gaming world goes this year, because they're trying to buy everybody out. Stay tuned for that next episode. We're gonna talk about it in a feature installment of the LogiCast. So with that being said, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment down below, let us know what you think about 2023 and the prospects of 2023 in the gaming space. Let us know what you plan to do differently this year. Subscribe for more content. We try to produce podcasts for every week, so it publishes every Wednesday at 12 p.m. We also run a Discord. We have Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So all those links will be provided to you in the description down below. So check those out if you're interested. And also check out Mr. Esoteric. He's not currently on the podcast panel right now. He's busy with some stuff. But he streams on the main channel, Logical Gamers, at twitch.tv. Check him out. He streams. His schedule kind of changed a bit. It used to be like Mondays and Fridays, or Mondays, Fridays, and Wednesdays. But now it's like kind of a mix of those 3 days. So anyway, follow him so that you know when he goes live. He plays an assortment of different games, mostly action adventure and a little bit of horror games, mostly like AAA stuff. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. So if you enjoyed the episode, leave a like, and then we'll see you in the next one. Peace and Happy New Year.
Next time, Happy New Year.